Many of us have grown up playing some type of sport. In fact, many of us have had that dream to be that star athlete running in the Olympics, playing in the NBA Finals, or taking home a nice World Series trophy. It could all be so simple.
Project for us. How good can he ultimately be in pro football in your eyes?
I'll be honest, I'd rather have money to eat food than money to wear on my wrist. We do a tremendous amount of work is involving with football. You know, we have meetings all day, every day. We go meetings, school, workout, practice. It's very strenuous during the season, and then the off season is just as bad. It's just we're not traveling, to play other teams, but actually some people say it's actually worse in the spring than opposed to in the fall.
College athletes are expected to train and compete year-round to be the cream of the crop in their league. Coaches expect college athletes to put forward their best effort, but it's hard trying to balance being a student and an athlete.
The way I like to look at it is like this. NFL, you have players who get paid to work out. They get paid to eat the correct on their diet, get paid to practice. That's their job. College students, this is our job. So in order for us to be successful doing our job, we need those necessary things to be able to sustain. So now we go play these big games, we get these $100,000, whatever the case might be.
That's what you signed up for. You had a chance to evaluate. Hey, this is what the deal is. Okay. Can I do this? Can I make a commitment to do this? And then when you do, once you sign, it's just like going to the Army, once you sign, you're in. You looked at all the information and you know what the expectations are. And if you didn't, that's your fault. But I do think there, because of different socioeconomic situations, that stipends are relevant and I think in some cases needed because the scholarship just doesn't, and the rules that govern, amateur athletics sometimes makes it really difficult for that scholarship to cover all the needs that you might have,
In July 2015, SB Nation released an article about newly recruited college athletes getting a $5,000 stipend outside of regular scholarship money, and the NCAA was against this new initiative. According to SB Nation, NCAA argued back saying that schools would be irreparably harmed if the stipend was approved. According to NCAA.org, nearly 8 million students play sports at the high school level, but only about 460,000 of those students continue on to play at a collegiate level.
Well, obviously there's a difference at each level, whether it be from high school to college to the pros. The difference mainly is the level of talent, obviously, and then in terms of the game itself is the speed of the game. And then obviously the structural differences, college is amateur athletics, at least that's what it's based from, is amateurism, and pros obviously is a profession, and it's paid, work, so to speak, in terms of the differences in the two games. And obviously the age of the, athletes, student athletes at college, they're more formidable in terms of the age, and then you're talking about guys who are more into the into manhood, so to speak, when you're talking pro football. So those are obviously the differences, and what we're going to talk about. Obviously, one, it's an acceptable practice to pay, and the other, again, it was based out of a philosophy of amateurism.
Average tuition cost to attend a public university ranges anywhere around $9,500 for in-state students and $24,000 for out-of-state. This doesn't include living fees, meal plans, books, or any other extracurricular fees that the institutions are asking from students.
Because right now at our school, when you come here, if you're from Florida, you earn $19,000 a year to do what you do, to be a student, to be an athlete, and to maintain that schedule and to maintain the rigors of that, okay? If you're an out-of-state student, you earn $28,000 a year here, okay? I don't know what it costs to go to Florida State. I don't have their stuff, but that's what their guys are earning if they're in state as a base salary, if you will, if you put it that way. because that's basically what the scholarship covers: room, board, books, and tuition. And then you probably have to cut this out, and then we're going to work your ass off for that money. It's not a freebie. We're going to make sure you earn every dime of it while you're here, because we're going to make sure, one, that you're an outstanding student, that you're competing as high in the classroom as anybody on campus. All right, that you're capable, and that your work previously to coming here said you were capable of doing it. You're going to max out there. Then we're going to max you out, athletically and physically. And then at the end of that, we hope we put out a pretty good product in terms of a really good man into society. But yeah, we're going to work your butt off for that 19 grand that you're going to earn your way through here at FAMU, and I'm sure other schools are going to do the same thing.
People don't see the work that we put in off being on game days. They don't see everything that we go through. They don't see the late nights trying to do homework while still trying to make sure you get enough rest to go to early morning workouts at 5:30 in the morning. They don't see those long nights. They don't see us, trying our hardest to stay awake in class, but we just got done working out and did not get a chance to eat, making it to we don't have no energy. But we still do it. We don't complain. You might get to moans and groans from time to time, but at the end of the day, we know we need to do our work. And that's why I feel like we definitely should get compensated.
Boosters play a big role when it comes to financial support of college athletes. They provide advertisement, benefits, and donations for teams and sometimes to the athletes directly. According to the NCAA, boosters are quote-unquote representatives of the institution's athletic interests. They assist with the recruitment of the athletes, and they even help arrange employment for players. So does it depend on the boosters whether athletes are getting paid or not?
No, you can't. That money can't cross over into paying the athletes. It can do other things in your program. It can scholarship, for sure. Booster money is targeted towards scholarship, not towards the welfare necessarily. That comes from NCAA provides that kind of service from the institutions, dues that they pay in to pay the NCAA to regulate all this stuff, and then also competition games and those things, revenues from games and TV money will go into helping with the welfare of student athletes as it's regulated through that process. But booster money is for scholarship. It's for the brain. It's not for TV dinners and stuff and going to the movies.
Everybody knows and everybody sees that we play these games we call quote-unquote money games. Now, if we play, let's just say, to make life easy, we play 4 money games in 4 years. They're all $1 million apiece. Just make it easy. $4 million in revenue. And take out the cost of hotel, flights, all that good stuff. Let's just say that $4 million turns into about $3.2 million. Just make it easy on life. Now, $3.2 million. We got to give something to the school that we represent. Okay, now let's just say we give $1 million to them. So now we're down to $2.2 million. Then we divvy it out between every sport on campus. Some sports getting more, some sports less. I don't know how that would work. I'm not into that. The logistics of it like that. So then you get down to about football. We won $4 million in 4 years, fought for $4 million 4 years. But we only getting a couple $100,000, and then where's that $100,000 going to? It's getting spread out everywhere, but into our stadiums, into our weight rooms, into everything. So why would if the money is not going to football, it's going to athletics? Why would I want to give to football? I mean, being honest, that's their thoughts. Why give to if I want to give directly to football, but you can't because we're a public institution. So the money has to get split. So if I give $1 million, that's going to every team on this campus. But I don't want to get every team. I want to give just to football. You can't do that. You can't donate just to football. Why? I don't know. I'm not the guy to answer that question. But this is an issue that I've heard arise from boosters. Talk around town and things like that. That's a problem they have.
Facilities play a huge role in a team's performance. Some say it is the main reason why some teams are better than others. Without proper equipment for athletes to train, it can possibly affect the outcome of a win or loss in a game. Athletes are expected to perform strenuous activity, but with the lack of resources, it puts more pressure on the athletes to be the best.
No, I would never begrudge another school that does well. I mean, just like you wouldn't begrudge, Microsoft for doing well in business and saying, hey, it's no fair. Why? It's an open and free, society and market, and people can, do the best that they possibly can do with their products or whatever it is, education, business services and all those kinds of things. But yeah, there is a difference. I mean, we're called limited resource institutions, okay, and that's just not FAMU and it's just not HBCU. Limited resources can mean the University of Richmond, if you will. I mean, even though they're a private school, but they're FCS, but I think schools at this level, we don't have the same resources that some of the major schools do, for obviously historical reasons, okay, as well as what's going on in the current climate in the market. But hey, that's the way it is, and then you have choices to make. You have a chance to coach at some of those schools or work at some of those schools, teach, be a professor or whatever, and then also you got to make a decision. If it's not, why do you choose the institution that you choose? And I chose FAMU in this particular case because of the historical significance. I think that the fact that we're the largest historically black institution in the world means something, and also that it's been sustained for over 100 years against all odds, if you will. People that and resources that weren't abundant, but yet still were able to make this thing work, and it's still working, and it's still educating a lot of people.
I do feel as though size of schools should not matter. At the end of the day, Division I athletes are Division I athletes. We are the cream of the crop. That's why we're a Division I athlete. If we were not, we would be playing Division III football, NAIA. Like, we would not be in Division I. So with that, I don't feel like you can say, oh, because that school's bigger, that's why they bring more money in. No, because football at any school will bring in the most money out of any sport on that campus.
Football and basketball are known to be revenue sports, meaning that they are the sports that bring in the most money for schools. These sports are known to draw in the largest crowds and fan participation. Other sports such as swimming, baseball, or tennis may not hold the same weight. So if athletes are getting stipends, is it right or wrong to pay athletes who participate in the less revenue sports?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why it's been such a slow process coming, because you can't just because of Title IX, you can't just reward or award. I guess you can because you're doing it. Just the male athletes, okay. But there are quite, the NCAA is allowed for stipends, if you can afford it, and I think it's a good thing, And I think everybody should be included, but then there's that balance, of revenue sports versus non-revenue sports, So again, I think stipends are good. I think players deserve it. I think that it's and again, this is where it gets to be controversial, but hey, that's okay.
Well, to be quite honest, I feel like every student athlete should get paid. Now, in facts to which student athletes should get paid, I can't necessarily say, because I don't feel like it's fair to say that only athletes on full scholarship should be getting paid, because at the end of the day, everybody puts in the same amount of work. We all work just as hard, so it makes it a lot harder when you have a team of, like football, let's say at a bigger school, you have 110, 120 players that are participating on a daily basis. So you don't want to pay 120 players, but only 65 of them are actually playing for you. So it's like, you don't want to make anyone feel left out, but in the same token, you can't leave everyone out at the same time. You can't just withhold. If I feel like what I'm doing and what we're doing as a team is bringing in money, and we know for a fact we play certain games that people want to quote unquote call money games. If we're bringing in hundreds of $1,000s, how come we can't get a piece of that?